East African time. Karibu sana. This is TV47 News Now. I'm yours truly, Stanley Nyuringita. Quite a lot lined up just for you, but first, the highlights.
Coming up. Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, has officially opened the parliamentary retreat in Naivasha, which will run until Friday. During the retreat, lawmakers will engage in discussions on the legislative priorities for the fourth session of the 13th Parliament, set to begin in February 2025. Also, a Nakuru court has postponed the hearing of the case involving Brian Odhiambo, a young man who has been missing for nearly 2 weeks. The adjournment came after the KWS and DCI failed to bring Brian before the court, despite a prior court order. Plus, police in Kayole have seized 80 kg of cannabis during an early morning raid on a self-contained house in Mihango.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us, and we do start off with that story about Mihango. Police officers in Kayole on Tuesday morning nabbed 80 kilograms of bang following a crackdown in a house in Mihango Estate that led to an arrest of a woman found in the house. According to Njiru Sub-County Commander John Oworth, officers from Kayole Police Station acted on intelligence following a lead from members of the public.
I'm John Oworth. Today we had some intelligence kwamba there is a person within Mihango who is dealing with bang. So we laid an ambush. Apparently we did not catch up with him, he's on the run. But we recovered about 16 sachets or bales weighing 80 kilos, and from the reliable source, the street value is 240,000.
Let me take you to Kajiado County now, and residents of Olekasasi in Ongata Rongai staged protests on Monday due to the poor condition of Helena Bridge, which they say poses a significant danger to their lives. The bridge, which is the only link to Rongai town, is on the verge of collapsing for the second time. Locals claim that substandard materials were used during the bridge's reconstruction, despite sufficient funds being allocated. Concerned patients, particularly those with school-going children, are urging Governor Joseph Ole Lenku to take immediate action to address the issue before a disaster occurs. Now, 4 years ago, a Form 3 student drowned while crossing the bridge during the rainy season, highlighting the urgent need for improved infrastructure.
Barabara ilifaa kuwekwa lami 2 years ago. Sasa imebaki ni mawe tupu, hata ng'ombe ikipita na vunjika mguu. Ni kweli? Wamama wana kilio tupu. Shule ni moja Ongata Rongai kama vile Kawira amesema. Shule moja ina serve 320,000 people. Iko hapa inaitwa Olekasasi, na hii ndio barabara ya kuunganisha. Mniambie kama ni kweli ama ni haki. Tuendelee kunyamaza. Gavana akiwa kule anaenda, nilimuona juzi ameenda Bomet kusalimia Gideon Moi. Unaenda kusaidia Gideon Moi nini? Gideon Moi kwake kuna maendeleo. Yeye ako na kazi. Wewe kazi yako ni hapa. Kwa hivyo gavana, kwa heshima tu na heshima taadhima, uje ufanyie watu wako kazi, wacha matembezi mingi.
Na ni mtoto wangu huyu mnapomuona hapa kwa picha, alianguka kwa hii daraja ikiwa inajengwa, akisaidia mwenzake avukise aweze kwenda shule. Mtoto maji iliwazidi na mwenzake, sababu ule alikuwa kijana na huyu alikuwa msichana. Huyu akawachiliwa, akateremka kwa maji, akaanguka, akaenda na maji, akakufa. Sasa saa hii daraja ndio hii hawakuimaliza. Wakati mtoto alisakufa, mazishi imefanyika, watu walitoroka wakapotea.
Familia yangu yote ya Gisharisha inaishi hii ngambo, na wanaumia sana. Kwanza hii daraja saa zenye inabomoromoka hivi, ni kumaanisha hii familia haitawahi vuka huko. Ninatetea hii familia sababu ni kubwa sana, na wakati wa kura waheshimiwa wote wanasemanga watafutie hiyo familia ya Gisharisha kwa sababu ni kubwa. Hiyo kitu inaniuma sana wakati ninaona hii daraja. Governor Lenku, ninakwambia hivi, mimi sijaiongea tena juu yako, lakini tushughulikie vilivyo.
Meanwhile, the 42-member task force appointed by President William Ruto to address the alarming surge of femicide and gender-based violence in the country was on Tuesday morning sworn in at the Kenyatta International Convention Center. The team, led by former Chief Justice Nancy Baraza, has been mandated to assess, review and recommend measures to strengthen the institutional, legal and policy response to gender-based violence in the country.
The job in front of us is a big job. It's a daunting task that has been bestowed on us. But looking around at all of you, I know that we are equal to the task.
In the recent couple of months, we have experienced very horrendous events whereby our women have been targeted, our girls have been targeted, and they have been killed. Others have been maimed. They have experienced bad violence. So to get to where we are, I can only say that this is a major milestone.
And meanwhile, an endometriosis survivor has opened a reproductive health clinic in Waondo, Homa Bay, called Ngakiao Waondo Health Center. The clinic has become a beacon of hope for those struggling with chronic reproductive health conditions. After battling the condition for over 14 years, Amundi launched the clinic to address the silent struggles of those affected by reproductive health conditions. Amundi stressed the importance of the initiative, pointing out that the Ministry of Health lacks accurate data on the prevalence of such conditions. The clinic is expected to provide much-needed support and raise awareness, giving patients a voice in the fight against chronic reproductive health issues. Samuel Oyuga, the sub-county medical officer, praised the initiative, highlighting the shortage of reproductive health specialists in the county.
So this is why we began this clinic. Number one, we really wanted to hear from the public sectors and the government, the plans or maybe how the future may look like for the survivors of endometriosis and adenomyosis, or rather the chronic conditions in reproductive health.
To help us reduce incidences and prevalences of diseases like rheumatology, gynecological diseases that we have within the sub-county, because we don't have experts. We have very few experts, but usually we call them from outside. We call them from other facilities outside Beta to come and help us, and that is once a week. Like in Beta Hospital, we only have one clinic once a week that can come and help us family issues.
We are happy that we have coordinated well to bring this team of medical consultants from the UK just to help, one, in proper diagnosis of the tropical medicine that we possibly may not be having the consultants to help in diagnosis at our various levels of hospital in the sub-county, but also that we give proper prescription, and we have also launched an SRHC clinic for follow-ups, particularly on sexual reproductive diseases that are largely a menace in this particular area.
Also, the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner is set to launch its 4th regional office in Eldoret as part of its observance of Data Privacy Day 2025. Speaking at the conference, Data Commissioner Immaculate Kasait emphasized that the importance of prioritizing personal data protection amid the country's rapid technological advancements. Media Council of Kenya, MCK CEO David Omoyo, urged journalists to uphold ethical standards when handling personal data. He also revealed that the MCK is developing sector-specific guidelines to help journalists navigate legal challenges related to data privacy.
And that understanding are matters that we need to know, really, so that
we as an office, our work is to make sure that data controllers adhere to those principles at any given time. And when they don't adhere to them, the members of the public are free to file complaints to our office. And as an office, we undertake investigation, we undertake audits, we undertake inspection. And once we find anyone culpable, we then go ahead and either fine or give a penalty notice.
We have jointly developed guidelines for media on use of data and AI. They were published last week for public participation. Because then when you have that privilege, you need to set general guidelines on how you are going to receive and process the personal data that you interact with on a day-to-day basis. Because failure to have those guidelines internally, or guidelines sector-specific, now media-specific guidelines, you expose yourself, because then if we have a complaint that a certain media house has misused my private data or information, or has disclosed what they shouldn't have done, then media gets exposed. So the purpose for doing those sector-specific guidelines, and I urge you in the media and the public to come and give us comments, is to really shield the media.
And the Nakuru court has postponed the hearing of the case involving Brian Odhiambo, a young man who has been missing for nearly 2 weeks. The judgment came after the KWS and DCI failed to bring Brian before the court, despite a prior court order. Have a look.
Your order was also to the effect that they produce the subject of this matter, one Brian Odhiambo, before this court, alive, or his body. We don't know whether they have brought Brian to court.
Yes, we have explained in our affidavits.
So he has not been produced?
Yes. And we have explained the reason that he is not in the custody of the respondents. That's the first and second respondents. The same we have explained in our affidavits.
We have received responses, they're quite lengthy, and we sought for time to have a look at them, 1 day to be precise, so that then we also file our responses and we can then come back on 30th, I believe that is on Thursday, to take further directions from the court respect to the disposal of the petition for habeas corpus. That is the production of Brian in court, alive or dead for that matter.
As much as they're just pleading for justice, me I'm willing to find my husband the way he is. Juu hata nashindwa nataka kwenda kuambia nini watoto. Leo nimetoka kuambia naenda kuwaletea babao. Mimi naweza waambia tu watusaidie, watupatie tu Brian venye hako tu. Me I'll just take him the way he is. Whether dead or alive, akiwa muumizwa, I'll just nurse the wounds.
Sports News.
Time for some sports news, and Alphonse Kibet Kigen of Kenya won the 2025 Marrakech International Marathon in Morocco on Sunday. Kigen crossed the finish line with a time of 2 hours, 8 minutes and 50 seconds. He overcame stiff competition from the host country, whose runners claimed second, third and fourth positions. Francis Cheriot finished in fourth place with a time of 2 hours, 13 minutes and 8 seconds, while Moses Mwangi placed 19th with a time of 2 hours, 24 minutes and 3 seconds. No Kenyan participated in the women's category, the 35th edition of the competition, which attracted over 15,000 runners.
L'Ustaz Mohamed Knidi est remis par Monsieur le secrétaire général de la wilaya de la région Marrakech. Mesdames et messieurs, c'était la cérémonie protocolaire de remise des... سيشهد التاريخ لهذا العرس الرياضي المتميز.
From the tracks to the football pitches, and the mountain edition of the Betika Bingo Fest culminated on Sunday at a packed Kinoro Stadium, where home teams Al Azizia and Gachanga Queens were crowned champions in the men's and women's football competitions, respectively, each winning 1 million Kenyan shillings. This event marked the fifth stop of the multidisciplinary Bingo Fest, which began with Western Region Teams edition in Mumias last August, then moved to Kisumu for the Nyanza edition in September, followed by the Eastern Region chapter in Machakos in October, and the Rift Valley region in Eldoret last December. Winners in both the football and rugby disciplines for both the men and women received 1 million Kenyan shillings each. First runners-up earned 500,000 Kenyan shillings each, and the second runners-up were awarded 250,000 Kenyan shillings each.
We had a goal when When we came from Nairobi to this tournament, we set out a game plan. Our mentality was to win, nothing short of it, and we're very happy we accomplished our goal, and we can't wait for the nationals.
Hii game imetusaidia sana kwa madem, tumekuwa na experience, tumepata challenge pia. Madem wengine anajua ball pia ni exposure fiti kucheza hii game.
And we thank God for this far. Winning rugby 10s aside final in the Central Region Eastern. It's a good job.
We are very happy with the turnout. Watu wa Meru wamejitokeza kwa wingi. The stadium is full to capacity. In fact, there are people who have had to stand because the terraces are full. So we are very encouraged. We are very happy by the reception that we've gotten in Meru.
That's it for 4 p.m. news now. I'm yours truly, Stanley Nyiringita. For the 7 p.m. and 9 p.m., definitely stick around right here at your home of Untold Stories for all this and much more. Have yourself a terrific Tuesday.